is it? Fuck off, you lucky sheep. Oh god. Thank you for sharing. That was actually pretty fun. That was very cool. I think bumper cars, if you don't like roller coasters, is the best thing to ride on. If you're scared of heights. Are you scared of heights by any chance, Koda? Deals.
What?
Yeah. Oh god, you guys should shite. Get chili box and deals to die for 25 minutes. Oh, you kill your you kill your you kill people. I see. Ah, I see. You drag their body. I killed him. Why is it that I can't pick up the use Q? Gotcha. A bit. Have you been on a plane before? Wow, fabulous. That monkey knows what he's up to. He knows. He's like, I will stop where you're going. But I haven't really. Holy shit, that'll be weird how you're gonna be feeling when it comes to the point where you have to like travel around the world. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to promote New Zealand. So to describe New Zealand in terms, right? Basically New Zealand is a really clean country. Or kind of. When I say kind of, it's kind of. It's more of a natural country, so you like hiking, walking, or stuff like that. There's a lot of areas that you can do that. There are a lot of red cones because New Zealand has just begun flourishing their, you know, their streets and building new stuff. There's rainbows in cinemas. If you want to go and experience Lord of the Rings in real life, there's Hobbiton, and that's where one of the set on Lord of the Rings is. Then there's Avatar, not the Avatar the Airbender, Avatar the blue character. There's places in New Zealand where it's from. Then if you go to Dunedin, you can see the Northern Stars, and that's where we have the rockets and all those space things. So if you ever want to go and see space and all that shit, you go to Dunedin. And they also have wild wildflowers. So it's natural in Hamilton to see random flowers or decades of flowers. I will show you what I mean. To promote my country, so you guys can come here. Instead of going to Australia, then the weird people would then are known for spiders and called the Devil's Island. So New Zealand, so wild flowers. In Dunedin. So, oh no. Isn't it? So New Zealand was actually the country that made sightseeing a thing. So if you ever want to know where tourism and all that stuff came from. It came from New Zealand, because back in the day, New Zealand had a natural spa spring, which is like salt water, but it got damaged by natural causes. So the environment changed. So back in the day, when tourism wasn't a thing, other people would come to New Zealand and, dip their bodies and all that stuff into this hot pool, and apparently it helps with your body because it had like salt in it, and it helped your body be smooth and all that stuff. It actually helped a lot. But natural environments happened, and a climate change, and it changed everything about the environment. But nowadays you can go to New Zealand, and we were the one that made wildflowers more flourish in New Zealand. So if you go to Dunedin, there's usually this place, and that's in Dunedin, and it's called the Wildflowers, and it goes for on and on. It's not owned by anybody else, but you can pick some flowers. There's lavender ones as well in Dunedin. We got certain areas which is called Ducks Pond, and then it's a big place, and it goes for miles and miles away. And then there's Wellington, where you can actually go to the beehive. So in New Zealand's not really strict when it comes to government facilities, not like the White House. So basically you can go around the beehive, which is what our capital is. It's called the beehive, and it's in Wellington, so you can go there. You can bungee jump. Actually, bungee jump was actually created in New Zealand, so you can bungee jump. You can hike. You can eat food on a train. So there's places in New Zealand, or in Auckland, that's where I live, and you, instead of eating on a restaurant, you eat in a train and it moves, and that's called Motac, and they collect all the old planes, cars, and transportation back in the day. So if you think of old cars, New Zealand has them collected, and you ride in this old train, right? So it goes through like couple areas, and it just tells you what happened, where it happened, and all that stuff. And then there's the zoos, no shit, and we have an art gallery. The museum, we have museums of multiculture. So if you want to see what multiculture looks like, there's there. Fair warning, if you're pregnant, if you don't believe or not, there's a fair warning from someone. If you have a pregnant significant other, or you are mentally ill, there is certain parts in the museum where they warn you not to go near, and it's usually the war mask that they used to wear back in the day, and it's known for actually giving you might have a chance of having a miscarriage by going there, because there's a lot of spiritual things that is connected with that mask, and it might not be, and you might not appreciate it or understand it, but there has been miscarriages based on from that, and there is a warning telling you not to go near it. You can see it from a distance, but don't go near it if you're pregnant, or if you have if you're thinking menstrual stripe, if you're on your period. I'm just gonna call it period, I don't give a shit if you don't understand. If you're on your period, or you're mentally ill, or you're pregnant, don't go near. You will have issues there. That is a warning. But the multiculture around it, you can see Polynesian. So Polynesian is a term that we call for all islanders. It's like a general. So you can see Samoan, Niuean, Tongan, Fiji, Cook Island. So basically all the islands that you don't have never heard of, you can see in New Zealand. So yeah, that's me promoting New Zealand. New Zealand is such a beautiful country. Very friendly. New Zealand is New Zealand has a lot of friendly people. Okay, minus me. I literally fuck off. I will oh, you want to get a piece of this? of you, HI. You are a pussy to bring a gun in a knife fight. A fist-on fight. No, all of you are pussies. Where's the knife? Yeah, stab ya, little shite. Wait, man. Thank you for selling the pitch. I keep in mind. So New Zealand is very safe. It's very safe. If you're worried about cops, if you're worried about racism, there's not much racism. Actually, our cops tend to protect those that are in need. Though there are some issues in New Zealand that has racism, no country has them. That is quite normal. Yeah, some our cops are nowhere near like America, nowhere near as belittle or nothing, not as a New Zealand's cops are not as a disgrace like American cops. New Zealand cops have more integrity than most cops. Instead of shooting a person that is disabled, they will probably help the person that is disabled. And even if you are struggling and finding a way to go home, police officers, even the people here, will try and help you if you're struggling. If you're usually in New Zealand, if you're going for a party, usually you bring like yeah, there's a lot of things in New Zealand that makes us like very cool. New Zealand's very friendly, so if you're shy and all that stuff, New Zealand's more of a place that you can actually be outgoing. Yes, you can walk on your feet. You don't need a sandal. No one judges you. No one cares here. So if you're lazy and can't be bothered wearing shoes, it's fine here. There's no glass. There's nothing like that. Second, New Zealand does not give a fuck about what you're wearing. Okay? Unless you're wearing a tongs in a supermarket, then we'll worry. But as long as you're wearing something that you're comfortable, no one cares. Third of all, there what else? We are not really of a judgmental country than most countries. We do shot people in the heart, like New Zealand, talking about the protests against the White House and the protests against in New Zealand. So if you didn't know, there was a protest in America where, you know, white folks were going to the Capitol and, you know, doing the thing, you know, you remember what I'm talking about? Yeah, doing the disgusting thing, doing a disgrace in their country, which is actually pretty disgusting. How the fact that you guys will use your flag and then damage the center where you guys make peace. Although I do understand some things in America does not make sense, like the government and the health, but shit, why you gonna kill people for it? Though in New Zealand we had a protest. It was more of a vaccine. Everyone had their own idea of what they want, and it was a protest. And instead of jumping in and trying to kill our the leaders of our country, we actually did a protest. I will show you the news. It's very funny. It's very cute. It's actually, it will literally backstab it will literally make you question America. Bro. You will understand what I mean. So New Zealand has a lot of manners and all that stuff. And thinking. Alright, too much. So I think it's this one. That's funny. You will understand. You will understand New Zealand from this one clip, okay? You will understand us, okay? You will understand if you read this clip, okay? In general, you will understand us.
Protesters descended on Parliament today with a range of messages for the Prime Minister about vaccines, mandates and lockdowns. New research shows people stuck at home are being bombarded
Aren't
with
they
misinformation.
cute? My
It's becoming
gosh.
increasingly violent and racist. Here's political editor Jessica Mackay.
3,000 marching through the capital, led by bikers down Lambton Quay. Their message echoing around Parliament too. There were anti-vaxxers, people against mandates for vaccines, those who oppose.
Oh yeah, by the way, if you haven't seen this flag, okay, if you haven't seen, I'm gonna tell you a fun fact, okay? So I'm gonna show you New Zealand's very first flag before it changed. So you know the flag that we have, right? So this flag is New Zealand's old flag. Before we joined the Union Jack, which is basically Europe, we had this flag. And basically it has all the symbols and all that stuff, but it doesn't have the Union Jack. It doesn't have any anything related to the Queen. So if you wanted to know what New Zealand's old flag is, that's what New Zealand's old flag is. And this flag has the Union Jack, which represents the Queen. Just fun fact, if you ever wanted to know information about New Zealand. So yay, Perda, you're finally learning something. Yay. Anywho, I forgot what's the rest. I think this was supposed, white is supposed to be bride, blue is for the ocean, the stars are for the northern stars, because when the Maldives came over, they used the stars to find out where New Zealand is. So basically, even though we don't know who it was, Maldives were the ones that were here in New Zealand first, so therefore they are natives to New Zealand.
Their
there you go.
message echoing around Parliament
I think I
too.
got it wrong, but yeah.
There were anti-vaxxers, people against mandates for vaccines, those who oppose lockdowns, the government and the media, and even Trump flags.
Ignore that. I'm so sorry.
To support my hometown.
I'm sorry that you've seen the Trump flag. I still don't know why they have that. I think they thought New Zealand is America for some goddamn reason, but I'm pretty sure they don't understand.
Doctors, our nurses, our
But it's freedom of speech, so yeah.
And not being dictated to.
The mood here is electric. You can feel their anger and frustration as they try and communicate their message to the Prime Minister.
The Prime Minister heard them from her office.
Actually, we provide them the provision to be able to use microphones. Look, what we saw today was not representative of the vast bulk of New Zealanders.
Well, I've been in Parliament a few years. I've never seen anything like the security arrangements here today.
Jacinda Ardern says she's seen increased anger at her online. Research out today says
Oh man, it's not
misinformation
the
about
actual
COVID-19
one. It's when they picked up the fence. New Zealand news. Mots. How do you spell mots in America? What's the news that was mocking America and all that stuff? Okay, well, okay, just to remember, if I remember, okay? So basically what happened is that New Zealand had a protest and everyone was getting angry and someone tipped the fence down because there was a barrier around the white it's not the White House, it's called the Beehive. So if you know how America has the White House, we have a beehive because bees here in New Zealand, we produce majority of the manuka honey that you guys have, and it's basically from New Zealand. So I'm gonna, if I find out, I'm gonna show you. But basically, as you can tell, we like bees. What else is it? Right, someone tipped down the fence, and then the news said, since we're not America, we politely picked them up, and it was actually pretty funny. I laughed at that. I was like, oh my fucking god, the stab in the heart for Americans, because they can't even, you know, protest right. Imagine not knowing how to protest right. I know it sounds bad that I said that, but the thing is, the protest that happened in the White House is a disgrace, not gonna lie. That's a disgrace of all protests. There's a do's and a don't, okay? Bashing in the White House just to hear your voice here and trying to kill somebody is the most Stupidest thing I ever heard in my life. If you want to do that shit, do on GTA, not in real life. You absolute dumbwits. Because if you didn't know, people die in real life and they don't respawn. So imagine doing it in GTA, eh? In a video game. Goddamn. People need to spend time. Build a game, then actually create the White House and then storm the White House. As in, I'm saying, waste your time somewhere else instead of actually, you know, trying to kill somebody, which happens. Okay, this video is funny. Okay, so do not get offended. Okay, don't get offended. New Zealand news likes to stab everyone in the heart. Okay, that is normal. Do not be offended, good sir.
Protesters tearing through the barricades on the front steps, raising fears reminiscent of the US Capitol riots. But then, because it's not the States, it's New Zealand, they politely put them back up again.
They basically, they put down the thing and then put it back up and then they started yelling again. Did you see what I mean? We New Zealanders are amazing, you know? It's correct, you know? We don't trash the place, you know? Yeah. That video explains New Zealand entirely. Not like protesting about vaccine or anything. Just like New Zealand in general. We have like respect about certain things, right? We are not like people that disrespects other people's properties. Unless it's our own property, then that's another story. Everyone can do whatever the fuck they want with it. But yeah, that's New Zealand for you. I hope you get and you understand how New Zealand is from this one clip. Yeah. When we protest, we do it loud and proud, but we don't go smashing skulls. Yeah? Skating on doors. Yeah. Okay, enough of the protest. Around this land, and she calls your name. Ain't I talking about? Ain't talking about Skadismoon. Yes, I understand better. Oh. Yeah, so we're like that. But for Australia, I'm gonna bash him in the skull. Skoliondo. Basically, Australia is completely opposite, okay? They have spiders, they have snakes, they have crocodiles, they have every single thing that can get you killed. Don't go to Australia. Come to New Zealand. Come to us. We have no deadly animals. The only thing you're gonna be dying to is food here. And maybe getting crushed in a car crash. But that's another story, okay? That's another story. I never was a part of this, okay?